What's that supposed to be?
Welcome
the
to
starting
the
tone?
Hey, we got a podcast that we're talking about right now when we're on our way to doing our post-show show.
The podcast is something you can enjoy, obviously, but don't forget when you're done, you can head over to RadioU or RadioU Riot, either Facebook page. We're going to go do an after show.
Yep.
So you can watch that whenever you want to.
All right. Today on the podcast, we talk about the shot that I got. Just getting shots.
Oh, you gotta. Is it really called a tetanus booster shot, or is it just a tetanus shot?
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
I don't know. That's what they said.
That's what they called it.
Yeah, they got that. I got it. I got all the stuffs. We talk about AMC and Universal.
Mm-hmm.
They're fighting.
They're fighting, and who gets caught in between? I mean, we're not going to go see movies right now at AMC. They're closed down, but we would be caught.
Yeah, that's the
if
other
they
thing.
were open.
It is funny where they're like, yeah, when you do go see movies again, this will be a big problem for you.
It's like, wait a minute.
When is that exactly?
When do we get to?
There's that. We talk about the Oscars.
We do.
The Son of Superman. The 10th anniversary of Iron Man. This appears to be all movie related. Oh, there we go. Belgian fries.
Oh, that's food related. Completely
Got
different.
a food related one in there. We also have a discussion about the printer.
We do. Yes. Oh, the good old printer down here.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't bring it up.
Oh, no,
to get fixed. You're not allowed to.
Don't you dare say anything to anybody here about this printer.
So you just have to live with it. Because someone always usually, if we talk about it, they're like, why don't you just get it fixed? Like, no, it's fine.
No, don't ask.
We insist. We'll go up to the other one.
It's totally fine.
Don't forget to head over to RadioU or RadioU Riot on Facebook when you're done with the podcast today.
Okay, Nikki, before we leave on our little trip, I need to lay on the floor for a minute.
It's fine.
Just for a minute.
Just to close your eyes.
Yep, I just need to close my eyes for a minute. So
You
I'm
just
going to
go to the
close my
floor.
eyes, then we're going to go do this thing.
Okay, perfect.
All right, bye.
Bye.
One day, a heroic time traveler will go back in time to make sure none of this ever happens. Until then, it's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
So, Nikki, I went to the doctor yesterday.
You did. We talked about it during the show a little bit yesterday.
We did, and I ate, and they didn't care.
Well, okay, you got to give a little bit more.
So it's that one time a year, where they check your blood and you have to fast. And so I did that. And when I went in there and they were like, I told them, you guys did my blood last time. And they're like, okay, great.
Oh, so they weren't mad because then when you took it a few months ago, it's not like you really needed it done again.
Okay, like I go to the doctor for all kinds of different things. So this time, last time I went, it was supposed to be, I don't even know what for, but they were like, make sure you fast.
Yeah.
So that means you can have water and coffee. So I go right after the show because heaven forbid I go more than just a couple of hours without eating.
Without food, despite having coffee.
Right. And so I get in there and they're like, oh, you know what? You didn't need to fast this time. No big deal. Now, to a normal person, that would be like, oh, okay. But to me, I was like, what are you talking about?
I went through this.
Oh, the pain and suffering.
Well, we're up early, so it's a long morning by the time you get to them.
So
they went ahead and took your blood that time.
Yeah. So I didn't have to do that yesterday. But don't think the needles weren't out because I am a pincushion. And when I go to the doctor, I'm like, I'll take everything you have.
Well, while you're there.
Just like while you're here. And so yesterday, apparently, I needed you get like 8 vaccines in one shot now. And so I needed some kind of booster shot. And I know some of you guys are
we
like.
We get boosters as adults? I guess you do?
Apparently. And I know some of you are like, well, I want to research the shot and see what's in it. And I was just like, great.
Put it in.
Let's take it. But it ended up being, it was a tetanus booster. And so I actually thought, I was like, I didn't say this out loud, but I was like, I think tetanus, doesn't that hurt or something?
It does. It'll hurt your arm for a while.
It didn't hurt when they gave it to me, obviously, because I'm a man and I don't cry until they leave. But about 20 minutes later, I moved my arm and I was like, ow, what?
Oh, it really did hurt.
And then I was like, oh, it's a tetanus shot. I have to take the rest of the day off.
I can't do anything else.
I can't work. I can't move this arm.
Is it better now or still sore?
It's still sore, which is just insane. What?
I forget you're supposed to get a tetanus every so often.
So it's funny. Like, I'm not an anti-vaxxer or a pro-vaxxer. I just go in and I'm just like, I'll take everything. Just whatever you have. It's all in the copay, right? All right. shoot me.
Nothing more, nothing less.
I'm not paying more for this, but like if it's on the copay, like whatever.
Free, you'll take it.
You got anything else in the cabinet? What do you got?
So you got a tetanus booster?
I did.
I think it's the word booster, but it just makes me seem like this is wrong.
Well, part of it's like tetanus, and there's a couple other things, and whooping cough. And he was like, "Hey, are you ever around kids?" And like a couple places I volunteer. Yes, I am. And so he's like, we recommend that adults get this if they have any contact with children.
So you got a bit of the whooping cough? Now you do?
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
He said with adults, it's not a big deal if you get it because but with kids it is. And so it's more common for adults to pass it to kids, which is why
you
they
should
recommend
have
it.
The booster.
So I got a
You
booster.
had all fun yesterday, didn't you?
Oh, it's awesome.
Did you get a toy or a piece of candy?
No, but every time I go to the doctor, right down the street, half a mile, is this donut shop that I love. When I got done...
Were they open?
Oh, yeah. I just went through that drive.
That's essential.
Nikki,
the donut place.
it's food.
You're right. It does
It's
fall under that
food.
category.
All right?
And
So
it was essential to you yesterday.
And they have a drive-through. So I just went through the drive-through, and I had, 2 Devil's Food chocolate ice donuts and a Diet Coke.
Should have rubbed one of that on your booster shot area. Rubbed a little chocolate on there.
Who says I didn't?
It would have felt better. Like, why did this heal so fast?
I don't know what it's the chocolate glaze. It gets them every time.
Well, I'm glad you're good. And
I'm fine.
It went well, and you're all set on your whooping cough and your tetanus stuff.
So, dude, whoop all over me. I'm good.
And if I get a cut, it's okay. So I think that's the thing tetanus stuff's for.
Sure it is. I think you're right. Like step on a rusty nail. Tetanus
Exactly.
shot.
Or they're like, here, you've got mauled by this little woodland creature. Do you have a tetanus shot?
Rabies shot.
Oh, wait, that is rabies.
Yeah.
Do you have that one?
I think you only get that if you're like suspected of.
If something happened?
Yeah. At least that's what I heard.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on Radio U.
I would just like to say that we have a printer downstairs. Like Radio U it has 2 floors. There's upstairs, downstairs.
So we have a downstairs printer and we have an upstairs printer.
And the downstairs printer is slowly but surely becoming a statue of a printer. You can't print to it.
No one uses it.
What? Okay, don't you think that printer, it doesn't like to be bothered?
Yeah.
It has its own room. Nobody goes in there.
I think that's why it doesn't want to work.
But you would think that after a while it would be like, well, I should throw them a bone and print something because if I'm not careful, they're just going to throw me out.
Because that's the next step. Because I think that one was upstairs first and then it went downstairs or something. Or
So there's a progression.
I think it knows that the only way is to the dumpster after this point if it doesn't work.
Then it needs to start printing.
But I can't tell if it's because we're on laptops, on MacBooks, and it's our network's fault.
No.
Not like, the Radio U network, but like our infrastructure network in our printing.
Here's the thing. I only print paper like twice a month. And I'll just tell you that printer needs to figure out what it needs to do
to get it
in order to get to my documents because I can't print to it. You can't print to it.
Sure.
Who else is there?
I only print, then I just do it upstairs.
Hudson's not over there like all afternoon just printing.
Well, with the 2 items that you like to print, why don't you just put a digital signature on it and then you just send it to me that way and then I print it.
How do you do that?
And then that way you don't have to worry about it.
Can I just, I need to scan my signature?
You can use it on your phone. You can just do an app and do it that way. And then you never have to sign it again.
I like that.
Okay?
I'm not going to lie to you.
And then if I'm the one who's like, I can't print, then it's my thing. You've passed it on to me.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I can't do very many things.
We're going to just remove the problem. And then you don't have to worry about it.
That's fine. After this, let's talk about how to fix that. Not on the air. We'll do it off there.
Add your signature to it.
And then in a couple of minutes, Nikki's going to tell us about why mom and dad are fighting.
Well, there is some big news. If you are interested in movie theater and movie news, there's some trouble brewing.
That's at least 30% of the show.
We'll talk about it a few times.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, internet. The worst of the Riot podcast.
Mom and dad are fighting.
Does this feel like a mom and dad or like, older sisters or something, or it doesn't feel as connected as a mom and dad.
You don't think so?
No, it feels like an uncle or someone who's just slightly off.
It's like your mom and your uncle don't get along?
Pretty much. Something like that. So,
cool. So who's the mom, Nikki?
I would say the mom would be, let's say, AMC theaters. So AMC is currently, I still think across the country, closed down. And then the other more eccentric person would be Universal Pictures. So right now, Universal has been having a lot of press the last couple of days because they keep talking about the success of Trolls World Tour.
Now, that has made approximately $100 million online.
Now, sometimes you're like, oh, that's just what you're saying. No, it actually made.
That's what they're saying.
$100 million. It's been out for, I think, 3 weeks. And they said that in the 3 weeks in theaters, it made more money than the 5 months that Trolls, the first movie, was in theaters.
Okay.
Yes, I said it wrong. So it's video on demand.
So 3 weeks in video on demand has equaled 5 months in theaters.
Correct. So they've already surpassed what they made in theaters for the first movie. Video on demand, you can't buy it. It's just $20 to rent it for 72 hours, if I remember correctly.
Sounds right.
So Universal has been doing a bunch of press, and they've been talking about the success and how amazed they are that so many people have rented it, and they're just so exceptionally happy about it. And AMC was tracking along with that. They said AMC acknowledges the uniqueness of the times that we're in. So they didn't really have a problem with Trolls being released in the video on demand format.
Sure.
But in an interview for Universal Pictures, the head of that said that, well, in the future, from now on, because of the success, they see a future where it'll go to the movie theaters and video on demand at the same time. And that's where AMC Pictures said, or AMC Theaters said, no, that wasn't the deal that we talked about at the beginning of the stays at home and the coronavirus and all that stuff. So they're now saying that they have sent a letter and they will no longer be screening films made by Universal Pictures at AMC theaters when it opens.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
Pretty much. They said they were so mad at hearing that Universal wanted to continue this trend for video on demand, and that they really had a deal that there was only during the stay-at-home times while they closed down that this would be something that happened.
See, my thought is that this would not work. There are movies this will work for, but there are movies that it wouldn't.
It will not, yeah.
So let's say Universal decided to release Fast and Furious 9. Mm-hmm. That's what they're on now, is 9. That was supposed to be out by now or in a week or two. Like, it was all primed to hit. And I think that movie, if they released it, I mean, the last couple of those have made over $1 billion worldwide.
I think that's so big. I think that would do well at home and at theaters.
Here's what I think. And, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think you put a movie like Fast and Furious on video on demand like that, and I think it gets the crap pirated out of it.
Well, true.
Like, it just gets pirated to pieces and doesn't get anywhere near the money that it would have gotten in theaters.
But because Trolls is for a younger audience, and a lot of the younger audience is stuck at home, they say that a lot of the older audience decided to rent it and just, let the younger audience enjoy it.
Like, if the parents
to keep them quiet.
If your parents could take you to the playground, they would just take you to the playground. That's free.
But they can't.
But the playground's closed.
Yeah.
So they're like, fine, here's another $20. Shut up.
So Universal and AMC theaters are now mad at each other, and they're fighting.
AMC is not going to live in a world where, again, they're like, yeah, you can see Fast and Furious anywhere but here.
They're not going to do that.
That's not going to happen.
Most of the bigger releases was pushed. So those are either in the fall or even just to next year.
Yeah.
So they're mad.
Well, they can be mad because even if they open tomorrow, they still don't have anything to show.
That's actually true. That is a good point. There are a couple of things that are still scheduled, I think, for later in June and July, but those might be pushed back depending on how things change.
I live in my basement now. That's all I got.
Which is why you can have all these movies on video on demand.
You're basically listening to a real-time cringe compilation. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Still trying to sign something.
if you were with us a few moments ago.
Still making it hard.
Still trying to work on that signature, aren't you?
Yeah, Google Docs finally just kicked me out.
Well, you know what? We have all morning. We'll just keep working on that.
Yep.
We're not in a hurry.
That's good. Let's just keep working on that. So, hey, what were we talking about? Oh, masks. Dude. So, yesterday, I went to the doctor.
Yeah.
They told me to wear a mask.
You had to have one to go in?
Yeah, but I don't think they would have turned me away, but, like, I was supposed to be wearing one. So, the best I could find was an old painter's mask. And I wore that feeling stupid. I mean,
it was something.
Stupid, but whatever. And yesterday I went ahead and ordered the same thing you ordered.
Yeah,
a big box of disposable masks.
It just goes back and forth because as things open up, you know, some sides say you must wear a mask. Other sides say, how dare you? Why are you wearing a mask? And we're just, again, in the in-between.
I guess.
That's where we lie in all of this stuff. Just right in the middle with, we don't want to make any problems.
That's exactly how I feel. I'm like, I go on, whatever, online, watch TV, whatever. There are people that are screaming about this on one side, screaming on the other. And there I am in the middle, like, look, am I going to be able to go in and get the toilet paper or not?
So we haven't had any, but we don't go out and do much. We just come to work, and every so often, if you have to go to the grocery store, I have been into some places where if you're not wearing something, it's usually someone else who's making you feel uncomfortable about it. They're staring you down, not the establishment.
Now, this is third-hand knowledge, but I was talking to somebody yesterday who said that they went into Costco, were not wearing a mask, and there was a couple that walked past them and was like, hold your breath, they're not wearing masks.
No way. No, really?
Yep.
But then I've also seen people that go in and you're practically naked. You're wearing nothing, except a couple of items, and you don't care. Like, you have no care in the world.
Yeah.
So we would just, again, we want to be right in the middle.
So I ordered the disposable masks. I also bought one of those masks, Red, the band.
Yeah, they sell them.
They were selling cloth masks, and somebody actually sent us, like, hey, you could get this. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
So that way you can have them on you in case you need it.
Exactly that. I'll put a couple in my car. I'll have the red one in my bag.
I think that and the disposable gloves are that's the new norm. You just have to have it in case you find yourself at a place where you really would need it or someone's going to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Which happens sometimes anyways. It's no different.
This is mask discomfort. There are other kinds.
We feel other discomfort all the time.
There are multiple ways to feel uncomfortable.
But they do say you should watch it because you don't know. Some people are not supposed to wear masks, and that's a legitimate concern. Like if you have asthma and
that's the other thing.
Don't go shaming people. If they're not wearing it, just go scoot around, go somewhere else.
The more we talk about it, I'm like, you know what? We weren't good at being good in public before this. And now you're introducing a bunch of rules. Like, I'm out. I'm just stay inside now.
There's a lot of layers to where you go. And I think each place you go has a different layer, too. Like, if you go to Costco, it's kind of different. If you go to the grocery store, it's kind of different. Who knows?
I'm just staying home.
Well, that's what you're supposed to be doing.
And I went to Walmart yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't wear my mask. I figured walk into Walmart, I was already taking my life in my hands.
They were fine with it?
Nobody said anything. I didn't even get any looks.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Country is kind of, sort of opening back up, if you can call it that. But don't be negative.
Just in different areas, different places, different things.
Ways.
It's all different.
A friend of mine went to a store yesterday, and they're like, yeah, we're open. Yes, you can come in, but not if you don't have a mask. If you don't have a mask, you can buy one here for $1. You know what? For $1, though, if it would have been more, I would have been like, come on. But like them charging you $1, in that box of disposable masks I bought, the price break might have been like 70 cents a mask.
Yeah.
So I get it. They don't want to deal with change. Here's $1 bill. I'll take a mask. Sure. But like in Georgia, for example, Georgia's the one that, at least the one that I keep seeing, they're just like, whatever, we're open.
Well, we talked about yesterday about like Waffle Houses were showing that they were open inside. You can get a haircut. You can get your nails done.
You can go to the gym.
You can go to the gym. Places that other cities and states have not yet started to do, they have this past Friday.
And so here we have some restaurants, though, that have said, look, we don't care what Georgia says. We're not opening back up.
So it must be, well, which one would it be then?
Well, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, Waffle House is open, but I don't know really how strongly they... I think it was more about just getting open for some places. So I don't know.
McDonald's is saying no. You can still do delivery.
And drive-thru?
You can still do drive-thru.
But not inside?
You can't come in. No. Dunkin', same thing.
Dunkin' Donuts?
You can hit the drive-thru. We'll throw a donut at you. But you're not coming in here.
That's the new slogan for the new times.
Throw a donut at you. I like it. And then Chick-fil-A.
Oh, Chick-fil-A said they're not.
Same deal. Drive-through, yes. Coming in, nah.
I wonder how much of that is, though, that, they have franchises and stuff, right? Isn't that what it would be counting as?
I don't know what a franchise agreement looks like.
Like they have McDonald's corporate, and then you have the ones that you own, like if you're an owner of them. But I wonder if it's just easier if they keep everybody on board the same policy at the same time, to where would it be more work for them to open up some locations in some areas but not have it over there? Like, is that too difficult?
I hadn't even thought about it from that perspective. Like, look, we just want to present
Everybody's
a unified
at the
front.
same,
it's the same thing.
Same schedule, same timetable until everybody opens inside. They're not going to do it.
I don't know. It's interesting to think, like, okay, what? Like, what are they doing? When's it going to happen? Who's going to open what? And McDonald's is like, no.
So McDonald's, you said?
McDonald's,
Chick-fil-A,
Dunkin', and Chick-fil-A
in Georgia.
In Georgia are all saying, nope, like we're not opening our dining rooms. I'll tell you this. I ended up in a discussion with a group of people yesterday about when is it okay to reopen something. Mm-hmm. That discussion went on for a couple of hours.
People have a lot of opinions about it.
Well, opinions and trying to figure out, like, okay, so let's say we open, but you have to still follow state guidelines. So how do you let people come in, and then do you move the tables 18 feet apart? Like, what do you do?
You're supposed to move the tables, so many feet apart. In some places, in some areas, like perhaps maybe take temperatures, at least of the employees and stuff. But as people come in, you want to make sure no one's sick as they come in.
Do you open the, hot dog fixins buffet?
You're not allowed to. No, the buffet thing, I sent you that article. Goodbye buffets or goodbye open food that's left out.
Like forever?
Like for quite some time, because I was reading an article yesterday about...
What about the Golden Corral?
No, that stuff, and it's basically, how to explain it, like they were talking, if Disney opens in Orlando, how can they make it work? And they had a run through of like, what could you do at Disney? What can you do at the hotels? And so at hotels, they said, you can't have coffee makers out. You can't have anything in the mini bars. You can't have buffets. You can't have food like, oh, here's the cereal bar.
Just stay home.
I know, like here's the cereal bar. You can't have anything that you can go up to that's left out with food that people would be touching. So they said, buffets.
So basically, they're confirming what you've already always known.
Yes.
That buffets are the lowest common denominator, almost wet market status.
So if you want to have something set out, it has to be a single use and it gets thrown away by the person right after.
Well, in fairness, I would throw most of my Golden Corral away. So
I don't know if it counts, though. It's still people coming up and getting it, various times. They can't watch it at that point.
No more chocolate fountain?
I don't think so. So buffets.
What about the honey spread?
That's individual, so that should be fine. As long as it's individually packaged.
They're going to hand me a biscuit, or a roll?
But they can't leave the rolls out.
I'm going to need a couple, guys.
So the rolls would have to be individually wrapped. So that's how the new world order is with it.
I hate it here.
I know. No more buffet stuff. That would take some time to get around to being back to some sort of normal.
Man, forget it. I'm going to have to drown my sorrow in some McDonald's fries through the drive-thru today.
Not inside, because you're not eating in there.
Obviously not inside.
You're listening to a morning show hosted by two people who absolutely despise getting up in the morning.
Will you give me a break one time?
The Riot, RadioU.
How many people are just worried about what's going to happen at the Oscars next year?
What are they going to do?
What are they? I mean, what do you...
Actually, in some of the cases, they don't even have all the movies. Like, they won't have the same amount.
Well, they have just gotten out in front of that, Nikki, and said, hey, even movies that don't get a theatrical release can still be considered this year because...
So it got a video-on-demand release. It'll still count?
It could. It could, which is great news for, a lot of movies out there.
I don't know if I feel like the ones that have went ahead and just done a video on demand release are the ones that would have been considered for Oscars anyways.
Well, what's interesting about this to me for real is that
Except Emma. No.
Yeah.
That was in theaters.
A lot of movies like the Netflix stuff, when Netflix wants a movie to win, it gets a limited theatrical release because they won't allow it to be submitted unless it's been released in theaters. And so what was the one last year that was
the
Al
older
Pacino
people and then the one girl who was on for like 2 minutes but was still a... Remember the...
I don't remember.
And she had like no dialogue or something, like barely nothing. And they're like, oh, she got lead actress sort of thing, but she wasn't really. It's like, why didn't you give her more to do?
What was that called?
Someone's going to have to text us.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I watched it and I thought it was really boring. And
that means it's perfect for the
probably
Oscars.
Great.
It's going to win something.
Yeah. So that happened.
Yeah, but I know which one you're talking about.
But this year, Netflix could potentially, that'll be the other thing that's interesting to see is that will they look at Netflix and go, oh, no, not you, but these other people sure.
But the other ones can.
Yeah. So I don't know, but they're going to allow it. Films here. All right, here I have it. I have like the films can still be eligible for Oscars if they had a planned theatrical release.
Oh, so even if it got canceled, as long as they could show they were going to.
Right. Man, we can backdate some documents.
Oh, yeah, you can. Absolutely.
No big deal.
Like suddenly everything was meant to go into theaters.
Oh, this was totally going to be in theaters. Obviously, right? Yeah, come on. Wow. No problem.
So the Oscars, is that January or February? Normally February, I want to say.
March? Could have been April.
No, I think it's normally
it is. I'm pretty sure it's February.
Okay.
It's usually the week. It's around the Super Bowl.
I heard they were talking about, well, maybe the physical distancing and the not getting together in groups of so many people will still be in effect by then. So then they don't have to have the Oscar ceremony be so long or be the way that it is.
Well, you guys know I have so soured on the Oscars in such a big way. Cody wants to know.
Used to like it.
I did. Cody says, was it The Irishman?
Yes. That sounds right.
It was. That was the one.
Thank you, Cody.
Yeah, thanks, Cody.
The one that Ovi said is boring.
It is. I mean,
So you hear it here. It's probably going to win Best Picture.
Well, no, Nikki, that's already passed.
Oh,
its chance is gone. It's done.
It's already lost. Oh, yeah, you're right. That would have been for the last one.
Yeah, that was for this year. I don't think it won anything. I don't know. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter.
Now you can have, what was the Chris Hemsworth one? The
extradition?
That thing? They'd be like, oh, that's Best Picture.
I don't know. Like, whatever. So Nikki, I noticed that the stuff that I'm into, like, it's not up for anything.
And that's all right.
It's totally fine. I mean, 6 Underground. Where was the award for that?
Actually.
Just kidding. It was the worst.
That one was the worst.
It was not good.
Not as boring, probably, as The Irishman.
Hey, the first 20 minutes of that movie were really something. And then...
That's when it wins Best Effects or something.
Yeah. If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Listen, I like the old Superman movie. It's like more than 40 years old, right? Like 1978, 79.
Was that the first one, or were there older ones?
I'm sure they've probably been making Superman stuff forever. But that was the old school Christopher Reeve. It's this song, this piece of music from John Williams. This is the Superman theme, whatever. I just always liked it when I was a kid. We had it. I watched it a couple of 100 million times. Okay. What I didn't know is that, I mean, I should have, but Christopher Reeve, the guy that plays Superman, I know that he died, but then I didn't know that his son, Will Reeve, is on Good Morning America.
I think he was on for, is he like always on there? Or he's a reporter.
He's one of their reporters. So
for ABC, he's a reporter.
And now that they've said that's Christopher Reeve's son, you can totally see it. You're like, oh, yeah, okay.
It looks like him.
Yeah, you can, I mean, It's not spot on, but you can definitely see it once they tell you. Like so many other people, he's working from home.
Well, he was doing a report about using drones to deliver prescriptions. So he was doing a segment on Good Morning America.
And so he's wearing his sport jacket. He's wearing his button up with no tie because it's a little more relaxed. You know, we're all at home. We don't have to be so formal. And then he's also not wearing pants.
Well, he has boxers on, but like no pants.
He didn't see the need to go ahead and put the pants on.
Did you see why it got caught, though?
No.
Basically, the graphic in the beginning was up and it covered his leg.
Oh, and then they dropped the graphic?
Yeah, like they put a little graphic up saying this is Will Reeves sort of thing and puts his information. And then that goes away after a while. So when they were probably setting up the shot.
Oh, sure.
It looks like he'd be fine, but you could see his bare leg and his boxer shorts. And he's like, okay.
I mean, in fairness, a lot of you are doing this.
He just got caught.
It's not as if he's the only one, but I don't know. Okay. Really, like, honestly, if you told me that we were going to start doing the show from home, and this is radio, I could be sitting in my basement naked doing the show, and you wouldn't know it, I would get up and get completely dressed.
Sure.
In order to do it.
Well, I mean, maybe it's not even underwear. Maybe it's more just like shorts.
Maybe he's just wearing shorts. I get that. But
it got caught, and so it's been going around since yesterday.
One of the things that I always do if I have to work from home, I realize this may sound ridiculous, but if I'm working on a project at home, I wear quote-unquote work clothes. Now, granted, for Nikki and I, that's
our
jeans
nice
and T-shirts. But, there are way comfier clothes than even jeans.
Yeah.
And so, again, it sounds dumb, but it's like it's a subtle signal to my brain that I'm working on something. But, man, once we get into comfy pants... we couldn't possibly work anymore.
So obviously everybody on social media told him about it and made it a trending topic. And he said, he was a bit mortified, but he says, I have arrived. So he got him some news.
I'll tell you this. I know a lot about him now.
I know now he's a reporter, and you never knew that before.
Didn't know it was a thing. And in reality, people have been pretty kind about it.
Yeah, they've been sweet.
This could have gone the other way, but the one comment I keep seeing is, he is all of us now.
Well, it's common. I mean, if you've done any Zoom meetings or hangouts and stuff like that, I haven't seen any wardrobe mishaps. I get a lot of people screaming like in the backgrounds, family members not knowing that you're doing work and stuff. I've had that on quite a few calls, but not anything like this.
You know what?
And it's just fine. Wear shorts, wear whatever.
I've been on a few Zoom calls with some people, and I will say, like, the one I keep hearing is, like, they have kids, and it sounds like the kids are torturing each other. And you want to tell them, like, could you just...
I'm sure that's maybe just normal.
Could you just mute the mic? Like, that's probably normal for you, but, like, I'm not used to hearing that. Could you mute because you're not talking?
Hey, if you're hosting it, just mute the mics when you start.
Well,
that's
I wasn't
all you
hosting.
Got to do.
I was a guest.
Well, I was on one, and someone is told everybody to unmute their mics. I was like, no, you don't.
Bad
no
idea.
One wants that. Just have everybody mute their mics. You don't even need to see it. Just stop the video. But that was on GMA yesterday.
Good morning, America.
The whining, the loathing, the insightful commentary on postmodern historical doctrine. Okay, maybe not the last one. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Here's a weird one. Did you know that it was 10 years ago this weekend that Iron Man 2 was released?
Oh, Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2.
Wow, how old are those then?
I don't know. I'm reading a retrospective on the fact that at the time, like now we think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is unstoppable, but then it was like, well...
Yeah, but the Iron Man movies did well, right?
They did, but I'm just reading about some of the difficulties they had making the second one. It's interesting stuff, including, did you know that Emily Blunt, Mary Poppins, was actually supposed to be Black Widow?
I did not know this.
I did not know that either. She had this is a bummer. She had to drop out due to a scheduling conflict with Gulliver's Travels.
Oh, that didn't work well, did it? Do we even remember that?
Are you guys familiar with the Gulliver's Travelers cinematic universe? And all of the sequels and movies they've made?
You just can't look back. You just have to keep going forward.
You know what? In fairness, like, Emily Blunt's done just fine for herself.
She's done fine.
But you would think that you probably would have liked to have gotten in on that. But yeah, 10 years ago. You know what that means? Now that I pay for Disney Plus, might as well just go home and watch it.
What do you mean, the movie? Oh,
Yeah.
in honor of it?
I rewatched Iron Man 3 a couple weeks ago. Fantastic. All you haters with your it's the worst. It's not. It's not the worst.
That was trending like a month ago or something.
Yeah.
And it was
It was
just a random thing on like, is Iron Man 3 or what was the other movie?
Thor Dark World, Thor 2.
Yeah, Thor 2, which was the worst of the movies, how they were both really bad.
I don't know. See, the thing is, I've seen bad movies. I watch bad movies on purpose. It's not a bad movie.
Not in even that level.
In fact, the script is really good.
I think they're just saying out of maybe the more current Marvel movies, those don't hold up.
Ant-Man is a bad movie.
Stop saying that. People always text. They say no, they like it.
It doesn't make them right. Just because you like it doesn't mean it's good. But if I don't like it, that automatically means it's bad.
That's when it's correct. So
Yeah,
just so you know, it is the exception with him.
My whims are truth. Your deep desires
That's your superpower.
are trash. Anyway, Iron Man 2, 10th anniversary, Nikki. Let's celebrate by having an after show today. And
We are, but we're not doing anything Marvel related.
Yes, we are. I just made it our Iron Man 2 10th anniversary stream.
Yeah, we're going to marvel as we go through the drive-thru to eat breakfast.
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
So, Nikki, you own a TV.
Yes.
But you pretty much watch everything on your phone. Like, you watched a movie last night. Were you watching that on your phone?
I was watching it on my phone.
Okay.
In bed. It was late. It's like, I'll just watch it this way.
You don't cast it to a TV. You don't use your iPad.
No. I mean, I do sit down and watch TV sometimes.
Yeah.
But it is shocking how I'll even sit on my couch in front of my TV watching something on my phone.
Yeah. So.
And I still want a bigger TV.
I don't even know why.
I know, right?
Why? Like, why do you want it?
The aesthetics of it, the look of it in the room.
Okay. All right. So here's the question for you. Would you watch a movie in virtual reality?
Probably not.
What if you could lay in your bed and you just, like, let's say you put some goggles on or whatever, and you could watch a movie like that. You don't have to hold your phone anymore. Your hands are freed up.
I'd have to try it. I get really bad headaches, so as long as you could tell me the virtual reality wouldn't annoy me. Like,
okay, no headache. If you could do it without getting a headache.
Because I used to even hate, what was it when you wear the goggles, the 3D movie, the glasses? I used to hate that. I'd have to take them off.
Well, I hated that too, but for different reasons.
Well, yeah, but I used to have to take a break from it.
Yeah.
And then it became you were thinking about how you were watching it, not just getting immersed in the movie. But I would have to see. It doesn't interest me because I'd be so afraid of that.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm looking here. It's something that's becoming more popular. I've gotten a couple of notices where I have a virtual reality headset, and there's a company out there called Big Screen. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing is they're showing movies in big screen.
Oh, that's fun.
You can see them for like 24 hours.
Sure.
So a week ago, or a couple weeks ago, I think they had the original Top Gun. They had Terminator.
Just because of all the flying.
Right.
Like, that one does not sound fun.
Was it Terminator Dark Fate, the one that came out in November?
Uh-huh.
They did that for a day, and they've just signed an agreement that they're going to do some anime coming up soon, and you'll be able to watch.
So you watch it while you feel like you're sitting in a movie theater? Is that how their style is?
I haven't used it yet, but it has gotten me thinking, like, you know what? Maybe just to try it.
Yeah.
So they want, but I mean, it's not free. So you have to pay to watch it. So I think it's like somewhere between $4 and $6. So it's basically a rental.
We're spending money more than we thought we would during this time. I think it'd be fun if it made you feel like you were in a movie theater, and if it was possible, I don't know if someone else could join you. So
you can.
It felt like you were with your friends in the theater.
You can have, now I'll have to double check. Is it 5, maybe 6 people join you? Now, of course, they also have to have the VR headsets to do that.
Yeah, but that'd be great. That'd be fun.
Admittedly, that could be pretty cool. Just because it would feel like I had friends again.
Well, you still have to have
I'm
people.
sorry, wait, sorry.
Do you know how
Too
hard it would
vulnerable.
be? Yeah, it's okay. Do you know how hard it would be to find like 5 friends who have VR?
That doesn't happen. Here's the thing. I don't have any friends that have VR.
Sure.
Now, I have people who have VR that were like, I will be your friend. But it's like, no, that's nice and thank you. But like, I'm talking about my friends, the people I already know, the people I already hang out with. They don't have it.
So maybe that's the
because
second.
they're all smart enough to not waste that kind of money.
That's the second step. For now, we're just looking at it would feel like you were going to a movie theater. And honestly, that wouldn't be a bad thing now.
I'm thinking about giving it a shot.
Yeah, do it.
Find one of the days that they're just offering something, drop
Cheap.
$3 or $4 and just see what the experience is like. All right.
Well, you're using your virtual reality, your VR headset, which is what you bought and which is what you told yourself you were going to do.
Yeah. Use it wisely, obviously.
I'll just keep holding my phone dangerously over my nose and my head. Mm-hmm. Or laying to my side, holding it there.
This is how we get more scars, Nikki.
I know. I drop my phone on my face all the time.
Hey, so what do you think of Obadiah?
Well, the truth is, he's not a very nice person.
Okay, well, what about Nikki?
The very best there is.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
I know the stay-at-home thing has been tough, and it's tougher on some people than it is on others. If you're somebody that, deals with any one of 100 different things, the idea of all of a sudden we're going to slow life down, what does that mean? It means that distractions have been removed. Coping mechanisms are now not something like you have to develop new ones or whatever. And when you find yourself in isolation alone, you start looking for something to cope with. And in some cases, you make some good choices. And at other times, maybe you make some bad choices. Like you just straight up did not make a good choice about how to deal with your time in quarantine. And I've got a friend of mine who runs a recovery group, and he had one of his guys accidentally overdose last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so you look at that, and it's the drugs that killed him, but the circumstances that had him turn to it have been very, very difficult. I bring this up for a reason. Nobody starts out their day being like, you know what, dude, tonight I'm just going to relax. I'll unwind. I'll accidentally overdose. Like, it doesn't work that way. It's an accidental overdose for a reason. But it's one of those things that even if you're not to that point, even if it's something else, we have got a choice that we have to make about what we do when we're struggling. And I say this to you as someone that has not always made the right choice. Can we be clear? Like, I'm not in some sort of a White House on a hill looking down, being like, this is how you listen. I can just tell you that there have been times that I've made a bad choice, the wrong choice. And the sad part is that once you get on the other side of that, when whatever it is that you've chosen is gone, now you're left with feelings of guilt, feelings of shame, potentially either firing up an addiction or, falling back into one. Like, there are all these things you got to deal with. And then you still have the problem that you're avoiding with your addiction, right? I don't want that to be you. I want you to know that there's another way that you can deal with the things that are going on right now. And that is you can turn to God and ask for help. I would encourage you to actually turn to God and then find a friend that you can trust, that you can get on the phone to or start texting or whatever. But start with God. Here's what I love. Jesus is with you all the time. There's no stay-at-home order or quarantine or locked door or rubber mask that is going to keep God away from you. There's nothing that can separate you from God's love. He loves you, period, no matter what. Even your bad choices are not keeping you away from God's love. The thing is, though, just like a good friendship, sometimes you have to turn to them and let them love you. And a lot of us, that's what we need to do. We need to turn to God and say, God, I know you love me, but I need to experience it. I need you to in my space. I need to feel that love, and I need that help right now. Man, you just ask God, just like you heard me do. Ask God for some help. And if you find yourself in a position where you feel like you're about to give into something you shouldn't, find somebody you can trust and call them. I can't think of a single person I know that if they called me, I wouldn't give them a lecture. I would be looking to help them. It's not about that. The people in your life that give a rip, they just want you. So today, make some good choices and start by asking God to help you make some good choices. because sometimes it's hard on our own, but with God, we can totally do this.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Listen, I love being an American. You guys know that, right? Because America is the best out of all of them. Period.
I do love your patriotism.
It's the best.
It's awesome.
But I'll tell you this. Something where Belgium might have us beat just a little bit is that in Belgium, they are now making a public plea to eat French fries a little more often.
They're saying that there's a surplus of potatoes because of people not going out as much.
That's never happened here.
And they need to use up the potato production for the time.
They say that in Belgium, and again, this is an article on the takeout, so, grain of salt or maybe just unscrew the cap and pour it on those fries there. But they're saying that in Belgium, one, that Belgium's claimed to have actually invented the French fry. And two, that it is very common there that they just have these fry stands where you just go up and get French fries. And all of these businesses are struggling because of the stay-at-home stuff. And they're saying it's like your patriotic duty to go out and get some French fries. And everything about this sounds really, really great until we get down to the fact that they're like, hey, we're saying twice a week.
That's the increase.
You guys, you're only going like once a week.
Is that what you're really only doing for fries?
Could you please get fries twice a week? And I'm just
maybe they mean by like the stands or something.
Oh.
Whereas I think hit fries. I feel like we hit fries more than that.
I've had fries twice today.
Twice.
I mean, like,
you had breakfast fries and snack fries.
It's not noon yet. And when I was making, my pre-coffee, I went ahead and threw something in the fryer. And then on my way in, I stopped at McDonald's. I mean, I got a hash brown. I feel like it still counts.
That absolutely does count. So in Belgium, their lockdown started in mid-March. And
so did ours.
Restaurants closed. So now they have over 750,000 tons of potatoes.
1,000 tons.
And that's what they're trying to get through because they don't want the industry to kind of be impacted by it.
Well, yeah. Plus, I mean, you could be losing weight right now. Stop. You need
to go back out.
You need to get out there and get some French fries.
People are staying in their homes, so they're saying, hey, go at least try to eat 1 or 2 times a week to help get rid of the surplus of this.
I suppose it's the same as us saying, like, hey, make sure you're shopping local and trying to use local restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, this is so specific, though.
I know.
It is. We haven't really had that scene here.
I'll take a Belgian French fry.
They're saying their farmers have worked so hard, and to have to have those potatoes lost, they don't want to see the loss of excellent food.
Yeah, you know what I feel like we need to do?
What?
I feel like we should go to Belgium.
Belgium? I've never thought to go there.
You think about it like this. When there was trouble in Europe a few years ago, let's say 50, 60, 70 years ago, America went to Europe. And we dug them out of a real bind that they were in, So what if some key representatives from the good old U.S. of A?
Yeah.
What if we headed on over to Belgium and did our duty for the global community as Americans, and we ate some fries? We really helped them with the fries.
I just don't know if we should be traveling, like we're the right ones to fix that. We see a problem, but it doesn't mean that we can fix it. It's going to have to be the local people there.
Nikki, but we can show them how it's done. We can lead the charge and get up every day and go out for fries.
I don't feel like they're going out enough just from this, like just normally.
We're going to show them how it's done. We're going to teach them how to social distance and still get your fries.
When they said go out at least twice a week, that means they were doing it less than that. I was a little disappointed in finding that out.
Nikki and I are here every day. It's fine.
We eat fries all the time. It's
every
fine.
Day, all the time. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you, Nikki, this is a very specific case where our leadership could change a country's future.
We could actually help.
We need some leaders.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
I could be sitting in my basement naked